Whoa, bud. Whoa. Whoa with the mask.
Oh, you weren't ready for that?
I was not ready for that. It's actually a vast improvement. If I'm going to be honest, could you wear that the whole show? That would be great. I'm so sorry, Isaac. Somebody had to tell you, So, what is up?
No, not much, Ryan. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. We are talking about Halloween gaming, my favorite time of year. I've been talking about it for probably 3 to 4 weeks now. And we have a special guest with us tonight. We have Andrew Smith of the Family Gamers.
Yo, what's up? What's going on, everybody?
What's
I
up,
don't
Andrew?
know. I mean, that mask was not expected, Isaac. It was right up there with the one that Ryan you've got in your profile picture. I mean, that one's pretty intense as well.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So that's my mask. So that was actually we'll get into favorite costumes shortly. So
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm going to start with that. I really appreciate it. I love talking to you guys about games and Halloween games and other kinds of games. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So cool. How's everyone doing tonight? Everybody having a decent start to the week?
It was a Monday. It was a Monday.
Yeah. It was a real Monday. I got off like 20 minutes ago. I was like, I need to shut the laptop. I just have to. So there comes a time. So anyway, cool. So Isaac, you wrote a lot of this out because I've been working a little too much here. So why don't you start us off with our starting question, our opening question tonight?
Yeah, so our opening question was, speaking of mask, speaking of costumes, what's the most memorable costume that either you, family member, kind of we said like in your house, like most memorable, one of the more memorable costumes you've had. So Andrew, how about yourself? I know you got a full house.
We do. We kind of have this tradition where it used to be every other year we would do like a family costume.
Okay.
And so, one year we did the Mario Brothers where, my wife and I were Mario and Luigi and my daughter was Princess Peach,
Nice.
that kind of thing. The most memorable costume that I ever wore, we did The Incredibles because we had the perfect demographics for it, right? In our family, our daughter's the oldest, and then we have 2 boys.
Yeah.
It was perfect. And, I got to walk around and people called me Mr. Incredible, which kind of works out. So,
that works.
So yeah, that was my favorite, that I was, I think my favorite one in our family altogether, we did a couple years later, we did Wreck-It Ralph. I was Ralph, which wasn't that, whatever, but my son, who I guess at the time would have been like 4 or 5, was Fix-It Felix. And that was pretty awesome. That was pretty good.
That's awesome. So. We've never come to think of it, we've never done a family costume or a joint costume thing. Yeah, I think the closest we got was 2 or 3 of our family members dressing like they were from the 80s, which two of us are from the 80s. So
I mean, I know a lot of people do like couples costumes, but you don't see a lot of like family costumes. So we wanted to do that. Yeah. I think we might, my daughter's 14 now, or 13. Oh boy. 13 going on 30.
There we go.
I think we might have one more family costume in us with all 5 of us. And then we're going to have to wait until we're all adults and I can try to do it again. But we'll see.
So we cannot, for some reason, the chat is not showing up in Restream at all. It's just like clocking. So
I see it.
You can see it. Okay.
Yeah,
you'll be on chat duty because
I get it. I don't know how to kick it to the screen though. I don't know if I can do that.
I don't know. So
Bob, I'm guessing because One Board Family comment, I assume it's from Bob. It said, Isaac, did you do something weird with your hair? And that's kind of where we're at so far.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, that is Bob. So favorite costume for myself, I don't know. I've had some favorite costumes like my kids dressing up like zombies and my favorite makeup job was when I did the makeup for my son for his probably 6 maybe. You want to be Dracula, so I did vampire makeup on him and had some blood running down his mouth and stuff, and it looks super cool. Like I was just getting into like understanding shading and understanding how to like create depth under his eyes and stuff. And he comes out of the bathroom and Aaron goes, "Cool, now we can't go to the church trick or treat." Awesome, thanks. And so we walked out of the house and had to find other things. They were like, "Nope, can't do that." you know.
That's so funny.
That was a good one. But my favorite, you actually mentioned my mask in my photo on Facebook. So that is an animation mask or an Animotion mask. So when I move my mouth, it moves with it. And my favorite Halloween was a couple years ago. I was walking around and I was dragging an old pitchfork, dressed up in like old nasty clothing, and I was walking around the streets not saying anything, and it was scaring the crap out of all of the neighbors. There was a kid, he was about 14, 15 years old. He definitely wasn't into trick-or-treating. He was wearing like jeans and a t-shirt with like a sack, and he was just walking house to house and getting in and out of the van. I stopped and I started staring at him, and I was watching him as he's walking back to the van. He's just looking at me, he's staring at me. He gets so freaked out when I growl at him that he falls into the van, and his mom's laughing, his aunt's laughing. It's the best. Like seeing a 15, 16-year-old kid scared out of their mind was so good.
That's
I love
awesome.
it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Bob's dropping all sorts of comments. He said you painted your son like he was a miniature.
That's exactly right. I was getting good at it.
And he said, yeah, I'm sure you weren't scary at 6'6" and 260.
That's 260 is a little light. So
262.
have you seen me recently? So,
give or take.
Yeah.
So
Are you really 6'6"?
yeah, I'm 6'6".
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
got
you are
some
a
height
foot
to him.
taller than me, dude.
I'm a large gentleman.
I'm
Ryan,
not.
Derek, I mean, these guys are
Yeah.
like, I'm sitting just under 6 foot, and I think I'm doing all right. And then I get around this court of giants.
That's true. You are one of the shorter people when we together like that.
So for me, there's a couple. You mentioned couples costumes, family costumes. We've done like everybody dressed in Star Wars characters. We've done a few times. My wife did Queen Amidala. My daughter had a Boba Fett costume, and she was like around that 12, 13 age.
Nice.
Now, I got a 17, almost 18-year-old and 14-year-old. They're not dressing up. We'll talk about what we do with families in a minute. But so my wife and I are doing our first couples costume, just the two of us this year.
Okay.
And so my favoriteest Halloween story is also my favorite Christmas movie, which is Nightmare Before Christmas. And so she got me a Jack Skellington hat, a head. Like this thing is.
Oh, that's
huge.
awesome.
I was going to put it on to start, but it's such a pain to take on and off.
Yeah. The first 10 minutes of the show is you slipping your head out of it.
But she went all out. She got a long red wig. She got face paint. She got a dress, and she's going to patchwork the dress.
Oh, that's super cool.
Like she's going all in. So I love it. She painted a bunch of little pumpkins yesterday in the themes. So even though it's coming up, I think it's going to be my favorite costume is our first real couples costume. So.
That's really cool. That's awesome. So
That actually reminds me. I forgot about this. Was so long ago. I don't even. We must have had one kid at the time, but we used to go to parties where we actually would dress up and stuff. And it was when Fallout 3 came out.
Oh,
okay.
And I dressed as a Vault 101 Vault Dweller. And the thing about, I mean, it was fine. I wore like a blue jumpsuit that was painted and all that stuff. But I had made like Rad-X and Med-X and Nuka-Cola caps and Nuka-Cola like bottles. And like I had made all this stuff and I was giving it out.
That's cool.
That was a cool costume. I forgot about that one.
That's nice. Yeah. Especially when you can make something and make it look really cool. My most disappointing costume is the costume. Aaron ordered me a real like replica Michael Myers mask from Halloween 2018. And it came in and I was so excited, spent way more than we should have. Came in and that Joker is so small. So I had to resell it. Yes. Like it fit our 13-year-old daughter barely. And it didn't fit me or my son. Like not even close. The height of the mask is super short. And so I ended up having to sell it and take a $20 loss on it to someone locally. But it was so sad. I took pictures of it and everything just because I was like, I had this for like 3 days. But yeah, very sad.
So Bob said he wants to go with me and be spaghetti and meatball or the number 10 where I'd be a 1 and he'd be the 0. Also, we have Tony join the chat. Tony said we sound like we're ready to move on to a cosplay chat. So
there we go. Cosplay corner with us.
So the next question, we'll get away from costumes for a minute. It's the time of year, I'm up here in the Midwest, right? I'm right in Northwest Ohio. We get the changes. It's cool. It is autumn here. It has gotten nice and cold. And I love it. What is it about this time of year that's just like is like your favorite thing, right? Like what's your favorite fall, autumn, like a food or experience or thing you get to do outside of Halloween? Like what really strikes you for autumn?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Massachusetts, we do a lot of like apple picking. We do, kind of all that. I don't know what you guys have near you, but there's tons of places you can go. Apparently it's like a thing here where you pay extra for the privilege of picking your own apples instead of just going and
There we go.
getting apples from the grocery store. So
Yeah.
I don't really like the paying for it part now that I'm the dad, but that whole process is pretty fun. I like actually going earlier in the season so I get peaches and apples because I really like
Nice.
peaches. But apple cider donuts are the bomb.
Oh,
Like when you go pick apples
Apple
at some
cider
place
everything.
and you're a little worn out, and then you go back and they've got like the big shack where they make warm apple cider and apple cider donuts and all this stuff, and you're just chowing down.
So good.
Autumn is the best season in New England. Fight me. Like it's the best. There is no better season. I have a picture of my 10-year-old probably 3 years ago where he's walking to school in shorts and a hoodie in the fall, and I'm like, you know what, that young man right there is born and bred New England. That is autumn clothing for New England. I am proud of him. I love hoodie weather. I love it being 50 degrees outside. I'll get a cup of coffee and sit on the porch and like read my Bible in the morning or whatever, and
nice.
I just I love it so much. This is the best season. You
That's
just
awesome.
open your window at night and you go to sleep, and it's nice and cold. You're under the covers. It's just
our window's been open for 3 days now. It feels so good outside. We're in the South, and so the heat just kind of doesn't let up for a little while. But like right now, I think Saturday was the first real. Yeah, I think Saturday it got real cool. Sunday was cool and crisp, wind blowing. Today it felt so good outside. My daughter was wearing a hoodie. Man, I just love it. Apple cider, everything. I buy
no pumpkin stuff. Pumpkin stuff is fine, but apple cider is
fine. Yeah, apple. So I've got apple coffee
all day.
Yeah, I've got apple coffee. I've got spiced apple cider in the fridge. Apple cider donuts. I make like skillet apples. It's apple everything in the fall.
We actually planted apple trees on our property in 2017, so this is the first year we're getting apples from our own trees, which is pretty awesome. Yeah,
I sent you a picture. We actually had 4 apples from our tree. It's been out there 5 years now. So Rick said, I see the comments on my phone. They're not loading in Restream. Rick said, this is the most old man conversation that's ever happened. So
I was going to say
you're not wrong.
Your other partner, recording partners, is making snide comments to you.
As he does.
Yeah, I got to agree with Bob here, and the same thing that Andrew said, hoodie weather. Like I love a good get my Under Armour hoodie out, right? Go to football games. Like I help out at our local high school with some of the medical coverage. I love getting to a high school football game and just being out there, right? And the sights, the sounds, the apple stuff, the caramel apple suckers that are the best suckers.
Just plowed through a whole bag of those.
Like, the leaf change, the color change, like the like you said, the apple cider, the fresh donuts. Apple is much better than pumpkin. I wholeheartedly agree with Bob. It's that time of year. Like it's great for this. Jason also in our chat said he sent me a picture. I don't know how to throw it up here, unfortunately. We'll have to do that. But he and his family, his 2 boys, have done family costumes, and they did all vampire one in the past. So
that's really cool.
It's easier when the kids are little, I think, to get them to kind of jump into some of that.
My kids are still into to like dressing up in costumes and stuff. In fact, my oldest is 18, and she's actually buying her costume right now. She's been Sally the past couple of years. She got a really nice Sally costume. I do her makeup every year, and she got a really nice wig last year. So this year she's going as a pirate. So she's going to try her. I've got some pirate costume wear, and so she's going to scrounge through that and use that.
That's awesome.
So
we did. I think the most recent family costume we did all the Paladins of Voltron.
Ooh.
I don't know if you watch Voltron, but it
Yes.
was cool because everybody's costume was kind of mostly the same, but also a little bit different. So
That's cool.
I went as the guy in the yellow lion who really likes food. So I just carried a ladle around with me.
There we go.
It was
That's
good
cool.
stuff. But, yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So
Ethan,
what's up
Bob
next?
asked about my son Ethan. He's wearing his magic carp hat that he got at Origins, so that's his costume.
Oh,
this year.
nice. Rick said this episode brought to you by some orchard somewhere. That's right.
Bye, Rick. Get out of here.
here.
So the other question I had kind of leading up to this, we're talking about family. We're talking about, what we do for Halloween. Like, how do you celebrate Halloween? Like what goes into the ideal Halloween party get together, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's a combination of both? Like, what do you guys like to do this time of year?
We don't go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
You
go with
at the
yours.
same time.
I don't. We don't really have like a get together thing that we do, which is kind of lame. I feel like we should go to more parties. I mean, pretty much I always feel that way anyway. But we did start a thing this year where we decided that October is it's spooky enough, so we're gonna mandate that we watch at least one episode of Batman the Animated Series every day during the month of October, because that's a fun, spooky show. I mean, it's not really a Halloween show, but you know what? I don't really care. It's an excuse to watch Batman. So
yeah, that's true.
I love it.
That's it.
Love it.
We do. So growing up, it was always there was always like little Halloween parties around the neighborhood and stuff like that. When Aaron and I first got together and we got married, we used to do a thing called the day after Halloween party. We were so broke that Halloween, November 1st, we would go out and we would not have a Halloween party. We would just watch scary movies by ourselves at Halloween and give out candy. We lived in an apartment complex at first, but the day after Halloween party came about because everything gets reduced so drastically 24 hours after Halloween. So we would just go stock up and get everything that we could afford. We'd buy a bunch of candy. We'd buy a bunch of new plates and decorations. We'd decorate the house, and November 1st, we would have a big blowout. We'd watch movies until like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was really fun. We did that for a couple of years. Now we do game nights on the weekend. So throughout the month of October, we actually have different couples over, different families, and play spooky games on the weekends. So that's been really fun. We'll bring finger foods or whatever. I used to run murder mystery. I would write and run murder mystery parties during Halloween. So I did that for a couple of years. But yeah, any chance to get together. So
that's awesome. Yeah, we've always done when we've had a couple families we hang out with, and we'd always get together and hang out, have some pizza, play some games. Kids would all go out, do the trick or treating. We'd come back, kids would eat sugar. We'd keep playing games, and it was kind of our game group. This year's the kids aren't just interested in trick or treating. We're actually going to we'll get together a couple days beforehand and probably play some games that are Halloween themed, but for bigger groups. So as I was kind of racking my brain, they didn't make my list, but like Welcome To, we're gonna play the Halloween edition.
Yep.
We're gonna play maybe some green team wins with a very big group. And I'm gonna come up with some Halloween specific questions for it. So some things that kind of fit into that theme, but it's just to me, it's just an excuse to get together, hang out, play games, and eat food, right? And
check out Don't Mess with Cthulhu. Will and Sarah from Tantrum House taught us that while we were at Southern Fried. I had never played it. It was real good, real fun. So
nice. Monstrosity would be another good Halloween-y.
That's a really good
one. So lots of good choices.
Well,
speaking of games, right? We're gonna be talking games here because this is a Cosplay Orchard game chat.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Well, fine. If that's what you want to do.
So we had said when we were kind of walking through this, I said top 5, but listening to both of you kind of pre-chat, I think it's fair to say, what are 5 awesome games that you could play this time of year? Instead of top 5, what are 5 thematic games, Halloween games, horror games, spooky games, right? That are like, this would be fun to bring out in October to play. So Ryan, I guess for those that maybe don't know, right? Maybe you're coming in from our Game of Sidekick side. You're pretty obsessed with games that are Halloween themed. Is that fair to say?
We got the display. That's a 5th of the games. So I usually have to take up a couple shelves, but this year I went light, and so that's about a fifth of our Halloween games. I love Halloween games, so yeah.
Awesome.
And it's like last year I did top 13 Halloween games that I like. We always do reviews around Halloween games, and then we do a weekly live stream on One Board Family. So I talk about it all month long, and then November I get slightly sad, and then I move on to Christmas. So
Rick said you have a problem.
I absolutely agree, Rick. You were not the first one to tell me that, so.
Well, the first step, right, is knowing that you have a problem.
And I know.
So why don't we start with our guests and we'll work our way
Yes.
around. Andrew, would you how are you fitting how'd you come up with 5, Andrew? What'd you use as some criteria here?
So you got so both of you, your kids are a little bit older. Like my oldest is 13 and my youngest is 7. So we generally speaking, we skew a little bit younger, right?
Yeah.
So we just released actually today our 5 Halloween games from the Family Gamers, and since there's 5 of us, we actually had the kids on the show, and we just each picked one game. And I mean that seems like a pretty easy way to go about finding 5 games. So I've got those 5. That's how I picked them. I don't have an order for them because we each just kind of picked one game. But yeah, so that's
Cool.
how I ended up with mine.
Nice.
So
You want
start
to do
with
your
one.
first one?
Sure. Well, again, like they're not ordered. I'll go with the one from our show that was a surprise to me, which was Shaky Manor. Do you guys ever play this from Blue
Shaky
Orange?
Manor's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not. I mean, this I guess would be a spoopy game, right? It's not really scary or anything like that. It's this kind of goofy dexterity game where you flip over a card and it's got like some stuff that's got like some various pieces that have to be in certain rooms, and so you've got this box that you're like shaking, and there's all these different pieces inside, and there's 8 like subdivided rooms, and you're trying to like move things around so that you get different pieces in different rooms, and like the fastest one to do it, you win or whatever. But it's just kind of a goofy dexterity game. But yeah, that was the pick from my daughter Claire, who is 13.
I like that one because you're trying to hang things up on the doorways so that they don't go into the room. You're like, come on, shaking the whole box. Rick has a favorite game. He said his kids are even younger. Our Halloween game is Trick or Treat Diaper Edition. That's disgusting.
Rick. Yep.
What did you get?
The real question is, which one do you prefer, the trick or the treat?
Neither one's good.
Not so much.
So I'm going to go Ghost Tell. This one is Tinkerbot Games. This was one that came in last year and we reviewed. It's actually, I think it's a 2018 release. But Tinkerbot is in the UK. And Ghost Tell, this is if you've played Haunt the House, right over there. It's got a similar theme as far as you're going room to room and you're trying to scare away the guests. This is a 3x3 grid, and your ghosts can only go through the rooms up and down, left and right, and you're trying to scare them either using dice placement or using phobias, which will double your dice. It's really good. It's just a solid dice placement game, really easy to teach. Great little components, cool artwork, silly names on the cards. Ghost Tell's really cool from Tinkerbot Games. So
nice. One that I have not played, probably for a few years, but was one of the first things that came to my mind with I need to get this back out this time of year is, and first, actually, also Ryan, kudos on having a game box.
Dude, I got them all right here.
I always have the boxes ready. Andrew, Ryan just goes, I don't know, it's here somewhere.
It's somewhere. It's
it's
but the one I had to get out and haven't played for a little bit is Gloom from Atlas Games. As I obscure the title, Gloom is just a fun, silly storytelling game, right? You've got to be ready to just go in with the hey, I gave this guy this miserable, he choked on a bone and died from this, and I love the silly aspects of Gloom. And I haven't played it in a little bit, but I'm looking forward to getting back out and seeing how it hits the teenagers in my house now.
Nice, yeah. That might be a good hit for the teenagers because I feel like things like Werewords and Werewolf and stuff like that have been ones that my teenagers have been like, we'll play that. I was like, okay, whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah,
We
dude,
don't
whatever
even
gets them to
know.
the table, who cares? Just
Yeah, we
you're
don't
gonna
even
play,
know
it
anymore.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
Nice.
so what you got, Andrew?
I'll go. I guess at this point, I'll go oldest to youngest, and my wife was very quick to point out that I am the oldest.
Oh,
Because
there we go.
I'm what 4 months older than her, so I'm the old man right now because it was my birthday
Man.
last month. It's not hers for a little while, so
I do
whatever.
that to
Anyway,
Erin. Yeah, I do that to Erin. She's like, she's exactly 4 months older than me, and so I'm like, oh man, married to this cougar. Oh my goodness, rob the cradle.
So funny. Yeah. So my pick, partially because my youngest actually stole what my pick would have been, but is a great game is Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters.
Yes.
Again, sometimes it's whatever gets the kids around the table. A lot of the time that means you're going for a cooperative game. Because our kids do skew a little bit younger, a game like Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters is great because there's really no reading involved. It's kind of cooperative, a little bit of strategic roll and move kind of stuff going on. I love the backpacks that you actually put the little things in the backpacks and they're moving around.
Yeah.
I haven't played it with the expansion, the Creepy Cellar expansion. I keep kind of thinking I'm going to pick it up, and I just haven't really gotten around to it. But that's I guess the second one on our list is Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters from Mattel. I also really like big companies like Mattel or Hasbro or whatever when they come out with games that are actually not hot garbage. Because it elevates for everybody, right? So.
Yeah, we have the Ghostbuster edition of Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters. It's just a reskin. It's really good. It's funny because I think Rick came over one time when I had it out on the table, and Rick came down and we were playing, and he said he looked at it and it looked very childish, and I was like, don't underestimate this game. And sure enough, he jumped in, and I think they lost whoever was playing. I was like, I told you don't play around. So Cody asked, what do you guys think about Grindhouse? Have you seen Grindhouse? I saw it actually a couple weeks ago and saw it at Origins and asked some questions. It's kind of a roll the dice, pressure luck. I haven't played it. The artwork's really neat. The price point is stupid high. Like I saw it at Origins and I asked a bunch of questions and I was like, okay, cool. And then I found out the price and I was like, well, now I look like an idiot. I'm going to walk away fast. And so
I remember looking at it. Is it because it was a pretty simple game for what the cost was, right?
Yeah, you roll dice, and as you flip out the cards, it's either a pressure luck thing or you're rolling the dice to meet a certain criteria. But if certain things happen on the card, like one of the cards, I think I flipped over a card and it was like you bust into the laundry room and something blows your head off if you roll a 1. And then I was like, so you're basically dead. And he was like, yeah. I was like, ugh. So I don't know. It looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool, but I don't know. It's interesting. I would still like to play it. I think I'd still play it. So
just a quick question on that, and I don't want to rehash something that I'm sure you've talked a million times, but do you think the price point on that game is reflective of what's happening in industry right now and how everything is just getting more expensive?
I don't think so. This was a Kickstarter because I didn't know anything about it. And then I found out it was a Kickstarter that had been successful a couple months. It fulfilled a couple months ago, I believe, or maybe a year ago. It's got really nice custom dice and stuff, and I think everything else is cards. And so I don't know why it's so expensive.
I'm just afraid that everything is going to cost 25% more, and for like the next 6 months, we're going to be, why is this so expensive? And the reality is it's just a new world kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just looked up. It's Everything Epic Games, so they're not. It's not a huge company, but they do Agents of Smersh and a couple other smart ones. It looks like it fulfilled in 2020.
Yeah. Cody said, wouldn't it be cool to see Tales of Arabian Nights, but Halloween version? Man, storytelling Halloween game would be so much fun. Oh man, it would be so much fun. So My next one is Horrified. It is one of my favorite cooperative games. It's the cooperative game that my wife will definitely play every time. I am a Universal Movie Monsters fan. I actually have a piece of artwork that a artist in the Southeast drew. It's the 5 primary movie monsters: Wolfman, Mummy, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, Dracula, with a big moon in the background. I love it. It's a black and white art piece, and it sits right above our copy of Horrified all year long. It's the one game that doesn't go anywhere. So
Awesome.
love that game. We just bought the new one. It's that way somewhere.
You see it.
Get
Yep.
back there.
So it's really good. It's the same game with a reskin. And so if you like that or you like movie monsters, either one's great.
So who are the monsters in American Monsters?
It is Bigfoot, Jersey Devil, the Banshee, the Banshee of the Badlands, Ozark Howler, Mothman, and one other. So
The Philadelphia
Chupacabra.
Flyers. So no.
Chupacabra, Philadelphia Flyers. Yep.
Oh.
So the Detroit Red Wings.
Their mascot. Is it the
What is his name? That weird.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Bob,
that's it.
Rick says Bob Carl's one of the monsters. Love that.
That's right. That's right.
There's that
Bob
Philadelphia
makes an
Monsters.
appearance. So we've been trying to get Bob in the game. That was the one. So,
Isaac, I know who you're talking about, and he is hilarious.
Gritty.
Gritty,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Gritty.
I knew it. I was thinking Grimace. I was like, that's not right. But
it's definitely not Grimace. Although he is horrified.
It's
That's
a drug out.
but if
No.
you look up Gritty on Twitter, like some of his stuff is, comedy gold. It's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his.
really good.
I just recently started following his TikTok page. It's
that's
pretty funny.
Gritty's the kind of character that is literally made for TikTok. Like,
Oh yeah,
That's good.
most
Good
definitely.
Nice.
So my second pick, you talk about storytelling games, and we've shared this game before. I've said this. I can't remember what list it made, but that's Escape the Haunted Mansion, Coded Chronicles, Scooby Doo. You want a
Excellent
storytelling
game.
game to sit down and play with the family this month? This is it. This is the game to sit down and have like a dungeon crawl, great in the box experience with your family. Like I mean,
Solving puzzles.
Jay and Sean did an amazing job with this game. Like
those games
it
are
is.
great.
I just I can't wait to try another Coded Chronicle game, but I think this is going to be like the pinnacle of them for me, just because of the theme, right? Just because of the IP.
It feels like the Scooby gang is all there. It just feels so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think there's a Friday the 13th one, maybe. Coded Chronicles game. There's one that's like a more horror one, and I swear I saw. Is it The Shining? I don't remember.
Yeah, The Shining.
And I swear I saw there's going to be a Goonies one too.
Yes,
there is a Goonies one.
Yeah.
I
I really
think they
like the
missed
Coded
the-
Chronicles series. I like the structure. I like this. I like the the kind of the mechanics of how they all work. It's
the numbering system makes so much sense, and it's really really well done, and especially when the writing's strong, which is the way that is on the Scooby-Doo game. When the writing's strong, that's when you're like, oh, this could be anything. Write it really well, and I would love it. I gave our copy to Rick, so he should be playing that this season, right, Rick? So
if not, for those that don't know, there's this huge board game sale going on Target right now, right? It's like 20% off, and then a stacked 25% off. That game right now is $20 straight up on Target's website.
Such a good
so you
deal.
take 20% and then 25% off of that. You've got a great inexpensive night with the family or friends.
It took us about 4 hours. We took a break in between and we came back to it a couple days later. It took us about 4 hours between the two parts. So Rick says, if I predict Ryan's top game, do I win anything?
There's no
I
order.
don't know, but you can try. There's no order, but
maybe like a big kiss from Ryan next time.
There we go. Yeah, we played the first round, waiting for a chance to play the second with a couple friends. Cool.
All right,
that's awesome.
Excellent.
All right, Andrew, what you got?
Well, so I'm gonna throw it in here right now. One of the games on my list was in fact Horrified. That actually my 7-year-old picked Horrified as his
nice
go-to. Yeah.
Nice.
we really like playing cooperative games when we can include him, because like he's a smart kid, he can read now, so he can play some of this stuff. But a lot of competitive, like we played So Clover tonight, which is a great game. We love it, but like he really struggled with that game. You know what I mean? Because he's kind of trying to make his own decisions and doing all this stuff. So it's hard for him. Anything cooperative is going to be a lot easier. And Horrified is it's just a great game. It's just a total blast. So so Horrified is probably actually the top of my list. So
that's cool.
It's just
that's awesome
for the age of our family right now. It's just perfect.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. Cody asked, how did no one ever make a Blair Witch board game, one versus all? That is so true. I actually pitched a Halloween board game a couple episodes of our podcast a couple of weeks ago. It was a John Carpenter themed Will It Game episode, and I pitched a Halloween board game where one person plays Michael Myers and everybody else plays a different character from the Halloween universe, and you're in Haddonfield. Man, I actually want so badly to make that game because I got hyped just like writing it down. So,
well, there is Fury of Dracula, so like there is a one versus many kind of horror theme game.
Yeah, so Rick accused me of plagiarism, but it's nothing like Fury of Dracula. I watched a couple people play Fury of Dracula a couple years ago, and it's nothing like it. So.
And by the way, to answer Rick, Candyland already is a horror game. It does not require a horror edition. So
that's true.
And there is a Blair Witch board game. I just looked it up.
There is.
Yes, yeah, it's actually not even that old. I don't think it's a one versus many game or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
it looks like it's more escape room kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, crime solving type. Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of Dracula's Feast. This is an interesting game. Jelly Bean Games created Dracula's Feast. It's actually in a second or third printing. It's completely different than this. This is my favorite version of Dracula's Feast, though. This is a black and white looking game. It is a party game. You remove the box cover, and Dracula is in his underwear in his coffin. So, but this is a fantastic. Yeah, this is a fantastic social deduction game. Everybody is given a player, and they are all inside of little envelopes, little red envelopes like this right here. And what you do is you are all at Dracula's party, and you're hanging out, partying, and everybody's wearing masks. So you can't tell who the Wolfman is. You don't know who the zombie is. You don't know who anybody is. And you can ask players around the table if you want to dance. And if you dance, you swap envelopes, you look at each other's envelopes, and then you swap back. There are certain restrictions on who can dance with who, and if you can answer yes or no to certain questions. And so once you know who everybody is, you basically make accusations, you unveil who you are, and then you accuse everybody of being who they are. And if you win, it's really, really fun. So Dracula's Feast is a pretty awesome game, and the reprints and remakes of it actually have very different artwork. So this is the classic. This one not in print anymore, but it's a lot of fun. So
that's awesome. My third pick is going to go to Ryan. Actually featured it on one of your social media posts here recently. It's classic. It's like everyone loves it. It's King of Tokyo.
Yes.
Great game.
I mean, dice chucking, Yahtzee fun. Yeah, you gotta have the Halloween. He's in here somewhere. All the characters are shoved in this box. But it's so much fun. I honestly missed the giant King of Tokyo not being at Origins this year. It's one of my son and I's favorite things to play together. So I mean, King of Tokyo is, if you're watching this and you're newer to gaming and you haven't played this, this is an add to your list must have. Your kids are gonna love it. Your family members who don't game much are gonna love it. It's a blast. So highly
we played it on Sunday and taught my daughter's boyfriend how to play. It was his first time playing.
So easy to get into. And you gotta, of course, use I was looking for him here, the orange dice.
Yes,
Halloween.
Orange dice.
That is essential. But all the characters are Halloween characters, right? So,
yeah, Pumpkin Jack and Boogie Woogie. So definitely not going to get sued for either one of those. So.
Have you seen King of Tokyo Dark?
I have it. Yeah,
you have
great.
it.
Yeah, I do.
It looks
have
really,
it.
really good.
It's smooth. They only did one print of that. Was with what the rumor was. I don't know if they'll go back to that, but yeah, it's smooth. I got it just because I love this game and
Mhm.
just wanted it for the unique art, and yeah, it's
Mhm.
smooth looking.
Nice.
Highly collect. I mean, at that point, I'm just getting it as a collector.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
need
Yeah,
it.
I think. I mean, I still kind of see it out occasionally. Like, I don't think it ended up quite as rare as they thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I think they might
There's
have
copies
misjudged the
floating
market on it
around.
a little bit. You can still find it. I would say to anybody, if this game does sound interesting,
Mhm.
I wouldn't kill yourself to find the dark version, but I think I would
It's
look
kind
for
of
it
nice.
if you
Yeah.
can find it. It's a little
I
bit. It's
think
just a
I
little
think
bit
it
nicer.
hit I think it hit the spring COVID hit, which is what probably did it in to, didn't sell out as quickly. Because I remember wanting to see more about it, and then it kind of fallen off my radar after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think
So,
you're right.
yeah.
Lose track
All
of
right.
time with this
Number
COVID nonsense.
4. I
Number
know.
4.
All right. Well, if I'm going to go in the order that I said I was, which is oldest to youngest, I skipped for Horrified. But next, I'm going to go with what Anitra picked, which was the Grim Masquerade.
I love that game.
So
Solid
yeah,
pick.
so the Grim Masquerade from Skybound. It's a costume party, and
Yeah.
you are secretly one of the Grimm brothers characters, and you are trying to gather some boons together because they're the things that you want, but there's also some banes that you don't want, and so you're trying to gather things and guess who other people are, and it's a really interesting game because it looks and feels like a social deduction game, which a ton of people like, but it's actually not. It's a hard logical deduction game, which I'm an engineer. My wife is an engineer. That appeals to us a lot more than, we don't have soft skills. We're computer people. So,
Yeah.
so a logical deduction game is going to help us out a lot. And we have a lot of fun with it. And it's really easy to get people in. The art is spectacular in that game. It's beautiful. Mr. Cuddington did the art for that. So that's, I guess, my number 4 is the Grim Masquerade.
I like that it's a deduction game that doesn't require any lying. There's some people who are like, oh, I'm not good at bluffing. I'm not good at lying. I'm not good at deceiving people. I'm like, none of it. You don't need any of it. Right. All you have to do is pick a card. If you pick a card and make a good decision, that's it. So,
but depending on the group, so you mentioned that some of those games like Werewolf and all this stuff, you have to get into it into your character and ham it up a little bit. You can do that with the Grim Masquerade. You can, if depending on the group, you can get into all that stuff, but you just don't have to. Mechanically, the game doesn't depend on it, and so
correct.
That's really
Yep. It's good. Cody says, I own kind of a party game called Machine of Death, a game of assassination. It's pretty funny how to take care of the target. Do you know about that? I've never heard of Machine of Death. Have you all heard of that one?
I have not.
Interesting. I'm going to look that one up.
And Anitra also commented and thanked you for using her suggestion.
Yes,
of course, dear. Of course, I would do that. I think Cody gets an award for mentioning a loosely Halloween themed game that Ryan has never heard of.
I've never heard of it.
Gets a gold star for that.
There we go. Gold star. Yeah. Giving them out all night. So Anitra actually learned Grim Masquerade with Aaron and Bob, I believe, or Bob and Rick and Aaron. People and Anitra. There we go. So next up, Campy Creatures. Campy Creatures comes out all year long. It is 3 to 5 players, which is why I get it. Have a tough time getting it to the table, but I love Campy Creatures. The second edition is fantastic. It comes with a bigger board. There's so many additional things that second edition and the expansion have. I love Campy Creatures, and this is one that I will play year round, but it especially makes its way to the table during Halloween.
Yeah, love it. Solid game. Speaking of card games, this is a very small little card game. I think there's there's not a lot of cards in this deck. I'm looking at 18 cards. 18 cards, $10. It's the third in the Holiday Hijinks series.
Yes.
That is the Pumpkin Problem from Grand Gamers Guild. My wife is not an escape room fan. She liked the Haunted Mansion experience when we played the 4th of July one. I can't think of what it's called.
The Independence.
Yeah.
Yes. She was into it. She really enjoyed it. My son and I love these kind of games. We'll play all the exit stuff. We'll do all that. But she's going to love this. I think when we sit down and play it, it's easy. It's portable. I've grabbed it and thrown it in my pocket a couple times just in case we had time to play it. I love the ease of an escape room that doesn't overstay its welcome and doesn't require you to, fold this 10 times, cut it, hold it up to the light at just the right angle to get the secret answer. Right. So I'm excited.
You played exit boxes.
Oh my gosh. I like it when I'm ready for that challenge, but man, these are straightforward. And that Independence one, it feels like you're literally playing
National Treasure.
National Treasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see what this feels like.
Yeah, that's on our list to play. Because I loved the Christmas one. The Christmas one was that was so much fun. I really love the Christmas one. So.
Got that ready to go in a few months. So
So those are they're about $10 a piece at the Grand Gamers Guild website. You can buy the set of 3 for $25.
That's such a good deal.
I'm only saying this because I know they're not listening or watching, but we bought the 3-pack for my brother for his stocking and for my sister for her stocking. These are perfect stocking stuffers. You
they really are
now and knock it out. $25, you can't beat it.
That's good.
They're all good. Sure. They're all real good.
All right. Last game.
All right. Number 5.
All right. Well, I'm honestly a little surprised that neither one of you picked this, but I'm thankful that I get to mention it first. This is the pick from my 10-year-old Asher. He chose Unmatched Cobble and Fog as his go-to Halloween game.
Yeah.
It is.
Ryan is proud.
Yeah, yes. Right. Yeah, we are, we are huge Unmatched fans. We don't have like a Friday night video podcasting about them like some people, right? Yeah. But it's funny when we played Horrified. The last time we played Horrified, we played up against the Invisible Man of Dracula because the kids knew them from Unmatched. So,
yeah, that's cool.
So it was kind of funny to be beating up on the same people that we just were trying to beat.
That's
which is pretty entertaining. But yeah, Cobble and Fog, it's the best. We just had Chris Leader on our show a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about that, and actually the Legends Volume 2 that's coming out in a couple of months here.
So good, so good. Bloody Mary's in that one.
Best set. Cobble and Fog's the best set for now.
Absolutely. Yep. So, all right. So Rick guessed it right. TBI, otherwise known as the Bloody Inn. This is one of our absolute favorite games, top 5 games in our collection. The Bloody Inn was bought on a whim because of Weberson Santiago's beautiful artwork on the front cover. It is weird. It is dark. It is morbid. This game is an economic game that has so much to love about it. I really love the Bloody Inn. There are memories linked to the Bloody Inn. I actually have the startings of a script for a murder mystery night based around the Bloody Inn, and that was something a couple years ago I started writing, and I'll eventually get back to it. But the Bloody Inn is amazing. It's so good, such a tight game. Little mistakes can do you in, and when the police show up, you better hide those dead bodies. So.
I have not played that one.
Oh man, it's good. It's so good. So,
my last pick, I do not own. My friends Jason and Becky have it and really enjoy it. They have the pimped out Geek Bits version, and if it's Halloween, it's got to have witches. So I had to at least bring the picture in. Right?
Oh, good game. How do you not own Quacks?
Because they own it.
Okay, that's actually fair. Yeah. That's fair.
And because I have too many games.
That's true. You're not wrong.
I will honestly. You know what I wait for is like Quacks is on my Amazon gift list when people are like, "What do you want?" I'm like, I've got a list. There's like a dozen games on there that I'll never just buy for myself. But if somebody wanted to buy it, I'd love to have it in my collection. Quacks has been on that list here for a year or so. But witches. What else can you go with for Halloween? Yeah. Right, it's perfect.
I agree with you.
I just got that new witching game from AEG. I'm excited to see how that plays.
Yeah.
Derek said it's great. Him and Lizzie love it. So I'm excited to see how that adds to the witchy theme. But Quacks is, such a fun pressure. Like I love bag building games. One of my favorite types of games, and that's a great one.
That's cool. That's awesome.
And Anitra said that's why you guys don't own Ticket to Ride. You always play it with the same friends, and they have it with all the maps. So
They have
Yeah.
everything. She's smarter
Makes
than me,
sense.
so she knows these answers. You know.
There
so
we
now
go.
you can get them the pink trains that just came out.
Actually, I
Yes.
sent a link to the pink trains to them, so they bought them. Yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. All our local game store, shout out to Moxie Games here in Columbus. They actually got those in recently.
Oh,
So
sweet. That's very
yes.
cool.
And Becky said the Herb Witches expansion is the bomb. Yeah, the
I
Herb
heard
Witches
it's
adds a
amazing.
lot of-
It's on my wish
Yeah.
list. So
Yeah,
they add
we've
a lot of fun to the game.
we've played with the Herb Witches expansion, but like only kind of. We've added the Loco Weed, and we use it for the 5th player because Quacks is a game that, even though it's a great strategic game, even with bag building, your 7-year-old can play it and
yeah,
get
yeah.
lucky and win because he's got those
Yep.
small hands that always pulls the right tokens.
Rick threw his top 5 in Werewords, One Night Ultimate Werewolf, Skull, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, and Mysterium. So all really solid games.
Good
All
stuff.
solid choices.
There
It's
are a
surprising
lot of
that
good
Rick-
choices this time of year.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
Did you say you're surprised that Rick's choices were solid? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I've
Isaac?
listened to their podcast. None of his choices seem good. So.
I love that.
It's just
I've
a
heard him
testament to the
saying I've heard
quality
him
of the
design
Halloween
games.
holiday.
So let's do one game that we've been playing since we just talked about all the games we're playing all month long. So
I love it. Andrew, would you like to start,
Oh,
sir?
of course. I got to pull up my I can't remember all this stuff.
Yeah, we'll make.
Um,
That's fine. We'll make Ryan go first.
this right here, Royal Visit. Royal Visit is a tug of war game. We first saw it on Shut Up and Sit Down. It's a Reiner Knizia game from a long time ago. It was actually originally themed as a game about bar owners pulling drunks to their side of to their bar,
love it.
and it was rethemed as a king and 2 guards, a wizard and a jester. So it's all card based. This is one of the best 2-player games we've ever played. It is easily in our top 3 2-player games we've ever
Wow.
played. It is fantastic. We've played it since we've gotten back from Origins. We've played it 8 times. So
Holy crap.
it's
That's a lot.
it's real good. It's real fun. So
Nice.
It's awesome.
I'm going to stay on the holiday. A game that we've been playing a fair bit. We released our review for it last week. Is Haunt the House from Kids Table Board Games. The
so good.
Solid choice.
unfortunate thing about this is I know it's right there. Our kids just are not big deduction fans. And so, Anitra and I really enjoyed it. You have to play this game with the Phantoms. Once you understand how the game works, you can
Yes.
never not play it with the
Oh, yeah.
Phantoms because it makes it a much better
100%.
game.
It
100%.
does.
But it just didn't work with our kids, and it was one of those games where we were really frustrated as
Mhm.
parents that they didn't like it because we wanted to play it more. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good 2-player game, so
Yeah.
so that was actually something that was difficult for us. That's why it didn't make our top 5 on our show. But we've been playing a bunch of it, and I really do like the game a lot. So
It's really good. Yeah.
Haunt the House.
I brought it to work for a couple times, and people at work loved it. We would sit it out on a table in the cafeteria and would play. It was a lot of fun. So
You can't go wrong with the kids table.
yep.
So my pick, I think you guys have both had a hand in. I'm only going to grab the lid because this game is so stupid heavy. There's so much in this box. It's coming back to Kickstarter.
I know
next
what
month.
it is.
You cannot sit on this, folks.
So good.
This was so good. Erin was spot on. She said this game was amazing. My wife and I have played this at 2 and 3. I'm hoping to play it at 4 here, maybe in the next week or 2.
Yeah.
But man, this game is beautiful.
It
First
is.
off,
It is.
first and foremost, right? It reminds me of a lot of the pencil first games
Mhm.
in the aesthetics, right? It's got that beautiful table presence, and I'm a sucker for a rondel game. I
It's really
love
good. Yeah.
rondel action. I love things moving around the table, and Garden Bow gives you the best pieces of that. A little draft
Such
at
a
the
good game.
beginning. I love a draft. It's so good.
Yeah, yep.
Garden Bow is coming back, I believe, mid-November is
Yep.
the current plan to Kickstarter. So
Yep. Actually, this weekend, Chad is coming over to our house, and we're going to be filming some footage for Garden Bow.
Oh,
It is
nice.
a fantastic game, and Rick wants to remind us of his fame. My name is in the rule book. Just saying, says
Yeah.
Rick. Rick's
I'll
name
have
is
to
in the
look.
rule book. So
I'll have to look. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of names in here. Oh, it must be under playtesters. It says coming soon.
there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
see it
Rick's
otherwise.
been doing some rule book editing from what
Oh,
I've
really?
wow.
So he's
Yeah.
You know
becoming
those private school math teachers and their
yeah,
rulebook
he's
skills.
he's being a big boy in the games industry. He's going to eventually quit One Board Family and move on to another bigger, better thing like
Hey.
Family Gamers or Gaming with Sidekicks. You know?
Can you see Bob's comments, Ryan?
I cannot. No.
He's
Okay,
coming over,
so,
man. You better
He said
bar the door.
he was talking good about Garden Bow, and then as soon as you said Chad was coming over, he said, "Excuse me, so I guess I'm coming over this weekend."
Yeah. So he actually doesn't know about it because he was out of town. So yes, we'll tell you.
Now he
We'll give
knows.
you the details. So cool. So that'll do it for this episode. Hey Andrew, why don't you tell us where people can find your find the Family Gamers?
Sure. Well, the easiest place is to go to thefamilygamers.com. All the links are on there for everything. You can find us on all of the social media places. We have bullied everybody else out of the handle Family Gamers AA for Andrew and Anitra. So if you look on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, even, you can find us at Family Gamers AA. I mentioned Haunt the House. We released our review last week. We are doing a giveaway
Yes.
right now for the deluxe Kickstarter edition of this game with the
Ooh.
expansion. If you just go to thefamilygamers.com, it's right at the top of the page. This is sponsored by Kids Table Board Games. Helena and Josh just are amazing, and they're just super
Yes, they
awesome. And so we're doing a giveaway. That giveaway closes in 6 days. So
Okay.
if you want to enter, you should enter. If you're not a person who likes to take chances, the game is also on sale for 50% off during the month of October.
Wow.
So get on that. It's like 20 something bucks for the game
Yeah.
with the expansion and this extra like coffin thing that I don't have.
That's really cool.
So it's really, really affordable to get into that game. Pick it up like this week. You'll have it for Halloween even.
Yep.
And yeah, so at Family Gamers AA on all the things, or thefamilygamers.com, or I know it's hard to remember, the Family Gamers podcast.
There we go. Family
Perfect.
Gamers, head over there, enter that contest. You will not be sorry. Rick said he applied to work for Family Gamers so many times they keep mailing back my application. So don't know what to say. They have a strict policy against weirdos.
And Anitra said they'll take Rick and make fun of him less than she makes fun of Andrew. So
I mean,
Oh.
that's not a
Nice.
low bar. I mean, that's not hard.
a lot of shifting going on amongst
good,
the
that's good.
family
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
It's like
We're bartering. It's fine.
Absolutely. There we go. So
we do one
Um,
Rick.
yeah. So what about you, Isaac? Where you at?
Yeah, Game with Sidekicks. You can find us at our main site at gamewithsidekicks.com. Kind of like Andrew said, you can link us to our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, as we've talked the last few times, trying to stay active on TikTok. Making
Yeah,
some
your
content,
TikTok's blowing up, man.
making some content, putting some video out. So
Yeah,
it's
you
been
got
fun.
you got Bob onto TikTok at One Board Family on TikTok.
I did. Yeah. And his
so.
you've got to get on there and see Bob's first video he put on there was pretty funny. So
Oh no, that was his second video. That was
second.
Yeah, he was like too risky, and then sent it to me. I was like, "Well, you published it already," so it was good. It was good.
I like the
It was
picture
fun.
of Bob with his beard like in the bush.
Yes.
That
He
was
matches
pretty
he matches the big floral things going on. So at the gardens.
Very impressive.
So
Very impressive.
How about yourself, sir?
yeah, you can find us at One Board Family all over social media. Find us at oneboardfamily.com, where you can find a lot of Halloween content. I see people on social media asking all the time, what Halloween board games do you suggest? We have 5 years worth of Halloween board game content. We make a list every year, including our picks and flicks thing that we did last year, where we pair a movie with a board game, so you can do a board game movie night and have a running theme. So we did that last year, and I've been posting about it. It's pretty neat. So
Awesome.
all right,
Love it.
that'll do it, gentlemen. Thank
Andrew,
you so much
thanks
for
for
doing this.
thanks
This
for
was a
joining
lot
us.
of fun. Yeah,
Thanks for having me
so-
on. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I'm always happy to come on. It's a good time.
Absolutely
Thank you,
cool.
sir.
Especially
Andrew,
if we can
Isaac.
make fun of Rick.
Oh, always. It's the only way to do
All
it.
right, excellent.
So-
Then I'm in.
Awesome. You all have a great night. See ya.
All right.
You too.
Peace.
Thank you.